Hi everyone, it's Jerry Ann with scrapandstampcreations.blogspot.com, and today is May 11th. Happy Mother's Day. I am doing the pre-show video for the Free to Be Me mini album that will be created over on my Ustream show on Monday. So this is the album itself. You can get the cutting guides over on Scrap and Stamp Creations on Facebook in that group page, or you can go over to scrapandstampcreations.blogspot.com and pick up the cutting guides for this mini over there. This is the mini album that I'll be using or be demoing. The majority of the items are all taken from Close to My Heart. However, I did go into my stash for a few different pieces, such as the flowers as well as the stickers to spell out the words, as well as some of the chipboard letters. So I encourage you to go find your stash of those things. I'll be pulling out different ones, or you can order the stamps and stamp your letters yourself. So this is the inside page. These are tags I have yet to decorate, and then the little tags that are part of the collection. This is the inside front cover. Here is page 1, really cute. All of these layouts are inspired by the Magic book by Close to My Heart. These are, this is the book itself. It actually comes as a softbound book now. This is an older version of the book, and these layouts are all inspired by the book here. These are interactive layouts, different things that you can definitely do. I really liked the idea of having a couple of layouts to start. This book is the softbound book that you get, has 52-page layouts in it. And it tells you, again, how to cut everything for the particular layout. So here are some of the layouts. Here's another set of layouts. And then in the book, it gives you a cutting guide for paper as well as to place. And then it gives you a little itty-bitty thing about how to do an interactive element. So this is a really great book. It is the Magic book from Close to My Heart. It can be found on page 141 of the Close to My Heart current catalog. It retails for $14.95, and the item number is 9040. So again, really nice reference stuff if you are a scrapbooker or a mini album maker and you need page layout ideas. I did shrink these down, played with them, so the measurements are different than the book because the book is for 12 by 12 layouts, but they are inspired by the layouts in the Magic collection. So here is the Free to Be Me page, or Free to Be, and that's the title of this album, is Free to Be, and that's where all of the words go for the remaining parts of this book. So each 2-page layout has a book or a name that hopefully I will have some photos this summer to put in, and that, so Free to Be. Free to be silly. So here's some of those sticker letters. Free to be a dreamer. The only other thing that I did not do in a cutting guide is the vellum pieces, so I need to actually make sure that you guys are aware that there's a couple of vellum pieces that we need to put in as well. Free to be a girl, so dress up, fun little things. Again, chipboard letter pieces that I just grabbed from my stash. And again, another set here. Free to be unique. And then these say, my sunshine, be yourself, happy day, hello dreams, and awesome. So those are really cute. And then this one is free to be imperfect. And that's, I think, something that all of us strive to be, is to allow ourselves to be imperfect. And then free to be me. So that's really cool. And then there is a 5x7 pocket. We did 6x6 on in our envelope, so we'll use a 6x6 here. But then, of course, it opens up, and you have some more some more places to put some photos and everything. And then the back. So that is our collection that we are working with. This is the finished product. I'm excited because now that this is done, I plan on using the Good Old Sport collection from Graphic 45 in order to make a Father's Day book and that. So there's some really cool things. I'm going to give you a list of the products that you will need in order to collect or to do this, very similar to mine, which is B1431, the Real Life stamp set, C1575 True to Life stamp set, Z1296, which are the Distressing mini ink pads, and they're really, really, really stinking cute. They're this little chalk ink. Z1375 Craft Cardstock, that comes in a pack of 24. Z1871, the My Creations Craft Mini 3-Ring Album, which is right here. It's just an album, comes already done with the pieces in between and everything, so all we have to do is put our pages in. We decided not to use the mini pewter accents because they were on Wall Supplies last and they sold out pretty quickly. We're going to use the Color Ready Evergreen Cork Shapes, which is Z1719. These are also on Wall Supplies last. We're going to use the Craft Envelopes. These are on Wall Supplies last, $1.50 for 10, which makes them 10 cents each. No, something, 15 cents each. Z1724. We're going to use the Memo Assortment, which is this one here, and it comes with number stickers, so you can do this as a 10 things book if you wanted to, 10 things for you to be me about. So it comes with the little epoxy numbers, as well as some chipboard tags, some really heavy, nice tags. Okay, we also are going to use the Color Ready Noted Canvas Shapes, which are on Supplies last as well, and these are Z1773. I also have pulled from my stash, just in case you need some letters, the Tiny Type Epoxy Alphabet, which is Z1835, as well as the Keyboard Craft Alphabet, which is Z1825. Both not very expensive, just really good pieces to have ready. I have some other envelopes and everything in my bag as well. You'll also need the paper collection, which once you have ordered $50 in product and go to the checkout piece, it will prompt you to get your stamp of the month for the month of May for $5, and it will also prompt you to get the Free to Be Me exclusive paper collection, which is CC1027, and that collection is the collection that I used to create this mini, so the pattern papers and stuff. So I'm going to walk you through the cutting guide so you'll know which cutting guide I chose for which paper, and that way we'll get started doing the cutting for this album. So out of the very first cutting guide is the Craft Cardstock 12x12. You're going to need to cut this one 6 times out of Craft Cardstock, and that's going to give you 6 photo mats, and it's going to give you 12 tags. And I have my Craft Cardstock here, so that's good. The second one is the Gold Cardstock, so that is this piece here, and I'm trying to see if I can get you to see the pattern on the cardstock or not. I think you can see it a little bit. There's a really nice embossed pattern here. There you go. So, and that is Gold Cardstock piece number 1. And I ended up drawing my cutting guides front and back on these. So then I have three 3 sheets of white cardstock for my Photomat pieces. So here's Photomat B and Photomat C. So here's my white pieces for them. And then here is my, this is for pattern paper 3A. And so I did pattern papers A and B, like pattern paper 1A, pattern paper 1B. So this is pattern paper 3A. We only use one of these from the collection. This is one side, really nice, pretty pattern. And then the flip side is this pattern here. And that is pattern paper 3A. And then the other side is another Photomat on white. Pattern paper 2A is this really, really cute feather paper on one side and arrows on the other. So you definitely want to decide which side you want as A and B. So here is pattern paper 2A and 2B. Those are my cutting guides. Pattern paper 1 is this really, really cool, funky geometric pattern. I really like it. Wasn't really sure I was going to like it until I started playing with it. And so I really, really do like it. And on the back is a peach dot pattern. So that's pattern paper 1A and 1B. We also have teal cardstock page 1, or teal cardstock 1. And then we also have one of the cutting guides says teal cardstock 2 and red cardstock 2. It is just basically a huge piece of paper that is the inside covers of the front and back cover, and that is out of the teal cardstock and the red cardstock. So rather than write 2 separate cutting guides for each of those, I did one piece. Okay? And then next to last, we have red cardstock number 1. And on the back, we have gold cardstock number 2. So red cardstock number 1, and then this is gold cardstock number 2. All right, you guys. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, there are 12 pages in this book, and I have yet to come up with a good way in order to kind of put this all together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of my empty, I hope I have an empty one. Nope. Oh, I don't have an empty one. Well, we're going to have to like create one really quick. I'm going to grab, because there are six pages in here. Nope, that isn't what I wanted either. We're gonna go ahead and take our, nope, those both have something in them. Well, that's just interesting. All right. So what we're going to do is we are going to take our, nope, that doesn't work either. All right, here we go. I have my large page protectors here, and what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and put together 12 pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and one for the front cover and the back cover. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 page protectors. Now, I'm just using these in order to be able to sort our pieces so that we don't get them all confused as we're doing the pages together. So let me go ahead and grab some ribbon and tie these together here, as everything is now falling off of things, wanting to be used. All right, I have this really nice green ribbon. we're going to go ahead and just tie these up, and then we'll put some sticky notes on them. All right, so now all I've done is make a kind of filing system here out of some page protectors, and you can do this with some of, get an extra pack, a small pack of page protectors, or if you had extras out of a book or something, to definitely get a hold of some of them to do that. All right, I'm going to grab a stack of sticky notes here, and I'm going to write the pieces, which is, I've got front cover and inside front cover. I'm going to have, oh, that's inside, hold on. This is front cover and inside front cover. So front cover, inside front cover, page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6, page 7, page 8, page 9, page 10, page 11, page 12, inside back cover, and back cover. Okay, so now that's what we're going to go ahead and label these. I've got page 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then I'm going to do page 12 and the inside back cover and the back cover on this last one, because most of those are just a couple of pieces. Alright, so now we have our prep piece going. So now we can go ahead and get started and cut our pieces and have somewhere to put them. I have my handy dandy paper trimmer. Let me just get some of these things out of the way so I don't feel like I keep running into them. Alright, the first piece that we're going to do is red cardstock number 1. And our first cut is going to be at 3 inches. By 8.5. And that is for the inside front cover. And then we have 4 pieces at 1.5 square. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put those on our piece. Our next piece is going to be cut at 4.25. Our first cut is going to be at 3.5. Then we're going to go ahead and cut this at 1 inch. We're going to go long ways again. So we cut this way. Okay, let's start over. Okay, we cut this at 4.5 inches, or 4.25 inches. We cut off at 3.5. Now we're going to cut at 7 inches. This is extra. We're going to flip it around. We're going to cut at 1 inch. we're going to cut at 1.5 inches. And this is extra. And now we're going to cut this one at 5.5. And that gives us a 1.5 by 1.5 and a 1.5 by 5.5. We have what's left over. We need to cut a 4 by 4 square. So we're going to cut this last piece at 4, rotate it around, cut at 4 again. That gives us a nice big piece for our flowers for punching out, and our 4 by 4. All right, so let me pull this over so you guys can see, so we can go ahead and put this away. This one goes for page 4. These are extra. We're going to set those off to the side. This is for the front cover. This is extra, and this is extra. This is for page 1. This is for page 3. 1, 2, page 3. This is for the inside front cover. These are for page 2. 3 of these are for page 2. And 1 of them is for page 3. And this long piece is for page 12. Alright, so that leaves us these extras here. So we're going to move those off to the side. So our next piece that we're going to be doing is gold cardstock number 2. So again, here's our gold cardstock. And we're going to cut at 5 inches. By 3 inches. This is for page number 7. And we're going to cut at 3 inches and cut this down from 5 inches to 4 3/4, or 4.5. And then we need a piece of 1/2 inch by 4.5. So that is all that is part of that piece there. Let me grab my extra bag here. So we do have extra. You've got a piece of cardstock and 2 pieces of vellum left in our pack, and we'll be using those as decoration. So the extras I'm going to go ahead and throw in my extra pack for flowers, decorations, matting, that kind of stuff. This one is for page number 7. This one here is for page number 5. And I should have probably cut all the craft ones first, just so that they could be either side. And this one's for page number 6. Okay, so this piece is done. Alright, so the next one we're doing is teal cardstock number 1. Our very first cut is going to be at 4 inches. By 7 inches. And then we're going to go ahead and take this piece here and cut it at 2 inches. We're going to rotate around, cut it 2, so we've got one at 2 by 5. And one at 4.5 by 2. Thank you. I'm just doing my cutting guide video. We're going to cut this one at 4 inches. Next cut's going to be at 4 inches. We're going to cut at 7 3/4 inches. This piece here is extra. This one we're going to cut into 2 inches. That's going to give us 2 pieces. We're going to cut our next one at 2 inches and cut at 6.5. And this is extra. And then we need a 1/2 inch by 8. So we're now going to cut this long strip at a 1/2 inch and then at 8 inches. and those are extra. So here's our piece all put together. Oh, yay! Alright, so this is for our front cover. This is for page 12 and page 11. These are for page 2 and 3. Thank you. These is extra, these are extra, and this piece here is extra. So this is for page number 1. And this is for page number 1. Alright, so now we're going to slip this in our extra here, so that we have it. The next one is the teal and red cardstock number 2. These are the inside covers. So we're going to cut this one at 8 1/4. By 8 3/4. These two pieces here are extra. This red is the inside back cover. And then for our teal piece, we're using the same cutting guide. It's just two different pieces that are being cut. We're going to cut again at 8 1/4 by 8 3/4. And those go in our extras. And this is the inside front cover, so it's going on our book on the inside front cover. There we go. So, all right, we're ready to go to the next piece. This is pattern paper number 1, which is got the outer cover. This is the main color of the outside of the book, and we are going to do pattern paper 1A. So our very first cut is going to be at 8 inches. Our second cut is at 8 3/4. This is the back cover. We're going to cut at 1 inch now and bring that down to 7 1/2. And we got this little piece of extra. We need another 1 inch piece. And this comes down to 5 1/2. And this is 1 1/4 by 3 1/4. We're now going to cut at 3 inches by 7 1/4. And at 2 1/4. And at 2 inches. And this is our little leftover piece. Now we have a 1 inch piece here. It's going to basically just take the zip strip off. And we have one at 7 1/2. And that leaves a 4 1/2 inch piece. So here's our completed cuts. This is for the back cover, the outside back cover. This is for page 11. This is for page 10. This is for, ooh, I didn't mark what that one was for. Uh-oh, we got a runaway one. I'm going to have to go look it up. These are extra. This is for page 8. Luckily, I still have my measurement guide. These are for page 9. And for page 10 and page 11. For page 10 and page 11. All right, so let's look at, we've got pattern paper 1A, which is this one, and we have a 3 1/4 by 1 1/2. This is for page 5. Okay. All right. So now we're going to do pattern paper 1B, which is the second piece. Slipping those into my side here. All right, we're going to cut this one at 875. That's going to give it a wrong look. Let's go ahead and cut at 1 1/2 first. Let's cut at 1 1/2 by 7 1/2. And that gives us our 1 1/2 by 4. And then let's go ahead and cut this. We need this at 8 inches. The pattern is, okay, we need this at 8 inches. So 225. Nope, I've got to cut it this way. It's going to be a little different. 875. We may just flip it over and use the other side for this one since it'll be a little different. We're going to cut at 875 at 8 inches. Oh no, that's all right. No. We'll probably end up using the other side. Okay. And then we're going to cut at 2 1/2 by 8 1/2. So we're going to just take a little sliver off there. And then we have 1 1/2, which is what this piece is left over here. And we're cutting at 7 3/4. And then this piece goes down here at the bottom. We may make our book more peach this time around. This is the front cover. This is for page 5. This is for page 12. This is extra, extra, extra. This is for page 6. And this is for page 7. All right. These are both in our, go in our extra bag. All right, the next one is pattern paper 2A. This is the one with the feathers. And our first cut is going to be at 7 1/2. And at 5 inches. At 1 1/2. And then this is 5 1/2. And we're going to cut it at 7 inches. Our next piece we're going to cut at 3 inches. We're going to cut a 3 by 3, and then at 2.5. We're going to go ahead and cut at 4.5. This is extra. We're going to rotate this around and cut at 2.5. And then we need a 1.5 inch piece by 8 inches. And that just took the zip strip off, as you guys can see, right there. So we've got our zip strip is extra, this little piece here, this little piece, and this piece. All right, so this is for page number 3. This is for page number 2. This here is for page number 11. This 2 by 2 is for page number, or 3 by 3 is for page number 9. For page number 4. For page number 11. For page number 1. And an extra. So these all go in our little bag. Alright, so now we are going to do pattern paper 2B, or the second sheet. And our first cut is going to be at 3 1/4. By 5. And then we're going to go ahead and cut at 5.5. And then we're going to rotate that around and cut at 2.5. And these are our extra pieces, these little pieces here. Our next one is going to cut at 5 inches. There's a little note on this one as well. So at 5 inches, then we're going to cut at 7 1/4 inches. That leaves us a nice big piece of paper there to play with. And then we're going to cut this down to 2 inches. And that gives us a 3-inch piece and a 2-inch piece. And that is the side of that. So this is extra. If I can get it in its bag. Doesn't want to play nice. And this big piece right here is extra. And then we've got page 9 and page 10. Page 10. And page 9. And then this little piece is extra and that piece is extra. This is for page 10. And this piece here is for page 8. And that takes care of that second piece of pattern paper. Pattern paper 3A is this really cute, I really like this one. We're going to cut at 4 1/4 by 7.5. And that leaves us a 4 1/4 by 4.5. We're going to cut at 4 inches. And at 8.5. And then our next piece is at 3.5 by 7.5. And then we have our little strip that goes across the bottom. Okay? So this is extra. These two pieces here are extra. We'll go ahead and slip them in our Ziploc bag that came with our project. This is for page number 7. For page number 6. For page number 4. For page number 5. All right. And now our next piece is photo mats. And so this is photo mats page A. We're going to cut at 5 inches. By 3.5. By 3.5. By 3.5. And this little piece is extra. Nice little stamping area. Our next piece is going to cut at 3 inches. And we're going to cut at 3 inches, at 3 inches, at 3 inches, and then we're going to cut at 1.5. Rotate these around and make 4 1.5 by 1.5 inch pieces. Now we have a 4-inch piece. We're going to cut at 5 inches, at 2.5, and at 3 inches. I am just doing cutting guides, guys. I'm just doing the cutting for our class tomorrow. So this is for page 2, page 3, and page 3. And this is extra. This is for the front cover. These two ones here. This is for page 1. These 3 little pieces are for page 2. And one of these is for page 9. Okay, so now we have page 8. Page 8, page 5, page 12, and an extra. Okay? All right, here's photo mat page B. And again, it's in white, so we're going to cut at 4 inches. I think the sorting is the longest thing. The cutting is not that hard. 4, and then at 3, and at 3 again, and at... rotate around and cut at 2 inches. And then we're going to make these all 2 by 2 squares. 1, 2, 3. And then we need 2 additional ones here. 1 and 2. Our next cut is going to be at 3 inches. By 3 inches, at 4.5, and then again at 1.5 by 1.5. So we have 3 of those. And an extra. All right, that leaves us with a 5-inch piece, 3.5 We're going to cut it 3 1/4. Come back around and cut this down to 4 1/2. And then our last piece is going to be at 3 3/4. Or no, 2 1/2, sorry. 2 1/2. And then we're going to cut it down to 3 3/4. And here is our photo pieces. So now we have one for page 1 and one for page 12. Two for page 5 and 3 for page 6. We have page 4, page 6, 1, 2, 3, all for page 9. We have page 7, extra, page 10, extra, extra, and this is for page 5. Our last photo mat actually is photo mat C, and it again is white, and we are cutting at 3 1/4 and 5 3/4. And that leaves you all of this space here for stamping or whatever, extra pieces, that kind of thing. And this goes for page 11. All right, we now have our piece of gold cardstock. So this is our last piece of cardstock that comes in our collection. And then we'll go ahead and cut the pages as well as the photo mats, because they'll go really fast. All right, so this piece gets cut at 7 3/4 by 6 3/4. This is for page 12. Then we're going to cut at 1/2 inch. And then cut this one down to 7 1/2. Then we're going to cut at 2 inches. And cut this one down to 7 inches. Then we're going to cut another 1/2 inch. And then cut this one down to 6 1/2 inches. And that leaves us with a 2 1/4 by 6 1/4. We're going to cut that out. Okay. Now we have a 4 1/4 piece here, and we're going to cut it at 3 1/2. And then at 4 inches. And we're going to make this square at 4 inches. And that leaves these little pieces here for our extras, embellishing. All right, and so we'll go ahead and put these away. This is for page number 12. This here is for the front cover. This is for page number 1. This is for page number 7. This is for page number 9. This is for page number 8. This one here is for page number 6. again, that's a little extra piece. All right, and finally we come to our piece of craft cutting guide, and we need to cut this 6 times. However, you can look at this. You can do it out of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper and have different size mats, things like that. Do what you feel is appropriate. I'm going to show you how to do it out of 12 by 12. Okay. I'll have to look at that, okay? 8.5 by 7.5. These are our pages of our mini. This is 4.5, and we're going to do at 6.5. And then this gets cut at 6 inches, and that gives us 2 tags. And you're going to do that for all 6 pages. Okay? So this is extra. This is the back pocket. These go in the front pocket. And these are your album pages. So here's one. I'll have to look. 7.5 at 6.5. Okay. Nope, it does. Because honestly, I didn't black everything in. So let me go back and do that. They're extra. And then these get cut at 6. So that's 2 more. Eight and a half. 7.5. You're welcome. 6.5. Extras. 6 inches. I don't know, it might be, and I know it's just because I didn't write in pen or a really dark pencil this time. And the last one. 8.5. 7.5. 3.5 or 6.5. Extra and at 6. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and sort these. Alright, so these little pieces here are extra. These are our album pages. And I'll show you how to get the holes in them nicely. And then these are our photo mats for the back pocket. And these are our tags for the front pocket. Okay. And so one of these goes, or 2 of these go in each slot here, 1 for each page, so 1 and 2. Three and 4. Five and 6. Oh, it's one, oh my goodness. It's 1 page per double sleeve because we do front and back. Sorry. And then these go in the back pocket. All right, so I have all of my pages put together in here. I am going to go ahead and stop the video, and then what my next plan will be is to go through and put all of the bases of the pages together so that when we do our class tomorrow, we're just going to stamp and embellish. All right, thank you so much for joining me, and again, you can purchase all of the items needed to make this album, all of the base products, at my website, jerriannarmstrong.ctmh.com. And again, this class will do all the embellishing of the album and everything, and punching our page holes on Monday, May 12th at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Ustream at Jerrianne Creates. I look forward to seeing you. Thanks for joining me.